Welcome back, guys. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to, or rather we're going to be working on the lips, creating details for the lips. So we're going to create a new layer and name that lips. Create a new layer, not this. Create a new layer, then I'll just name that lips. I'll rename that to lips. Okay, so I'm going to go down to, okay, let me go to this, and I would hold control. Okay, let me turn off my symmetry first. Hold alt and click on this. Hold alt and click on the reset orientation. Then I will hold control and drag this out like so. It's supposed to be working. I don't know why it's taking so much time to do this. Okay, let me go down to the lower subdivision level. I believe on lower subdivision level we should do a better job. So yes, definitely. So go and drag this out like so. So I'm just trying to max out the lower part of the lips. So I'll invert this. I'll just create a temporal max. Oh, I think I've already done that before. So so I'll just click on this, click out, control shift click on this. Then I'll go to the highest subdivision level. Go to the highest subdivision level for this. Okay, so I have a lips alpha that I'm going to be using as a base, and then I'm going to be sculpting on top of that. So we should go to, let me take this to drag rect. I'll go to my light box and look for that lip alpha. Okay, found it, lip alpha. So we want to try to kind of match this as close as possible. So try to match this as close as possible. So it's kind of loading up. But okay, so I think we using this main alpha, using the main alpha. But before we do that, okay, we have the lower lips lower, lip upper, lip lower right, lip lower mid. So let's just use lip lower left. So I'll double click on that to bring that out. And then, but before we do that, I need to max out, bring back my symmetry and max out these lips. I have, this part looks too thin, so I'm going to go to a lower subdivision level and smooth this out. No, that's too aggressive. I need to take down the smooth brush a bit down some more. So I need to smooth out this bottom part some more. It feels too thin, so I'll take down the smooth brush. I'll just smooth that out a bit. Okay, that should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Then I need to max out the lips, the region I want to kind of put my detail on. So kind of max out that part, max out that part, max max those out. So I don't have any, so I don't want the, because this is an alpha map we're going to be drawing out on the model, so I don't want it to extend further over my lips region. So I just marked that even the inner part, because we want it to kind of go a little bit more into the inner parts of the lips. So I believe this is good enough. So I go to a higher subdivision level and see how this is in a higher subdivision level. Because even on a higher subdivision level, we are going to be adding all the details we need for the lips. But we'll obviously be blending through various levels to kind of capture that details, capture the details as much as possible. So I would invert this and I'll blur out that marks. So I'll go to a lower subdivision level and I'll blur out that marks, blur out the marks, okay, by just control clicking on the model. So now we can use the alpha. So let me do a drag and let's see what we get. Still on symmetry mode. Oh yeah, one more thing. I think we're on the supposed to be on the highest subdivision level, so I'm going to go to a higher subdivision level for this. I'll go to a higher subdivision level for this. And then we also need to bring in our reference. So let's draw something out first. Let's see how that looks. I think we need more. We need to modify this alpha. Modify the alpha. Radius will be on. Radial fade will be on 10. Then mid value will be 45. The mid value kind of controls. It kind of helps you not to make the. It kind of helps you, or rather, it helps the map not to inflate the model. So I'm going to increase this some more. I'll drag this out. Seems to be all over the place. Let me drag this out. Trying to figure out. Okay, I think it should be somewhat like so. I think I started drawing from the wrong side, so let me start from around here. So it should be somewhat like so. So try to get the angle. Maybe I should push this further to the left hand side. Further to the left hand side, somewhere around here. So as you can see, the thin parts should be on the other side. On the other side. I think this takes a bit of work to get right, so let's see. It needs to be going all the way down here. Let me go look for another angle on this and try to get this close enough as possible. I think we're almost there, but not quite. Not quite there. Not quite there. So drag. I need it to be kind of going all the way down here. So I'll do that continuously until I get the result I need. Maybe I should increase the intensity a bit more on this. Yeah, this is kind of tricky. This is kind of tricky. Let me start from here. Okay, I think yes, we kind of think we got it this time, I believe. Okay, The only issue now is that it's not going as far as at the back side of the lips. Let's see what we can do to get that. Maybe I should just maybe I'll just do something like so. Maybe I can do something like so. Something like so. Something like this should work. I'm trying my best not to make this too noisy, because when it gets too noisy, you begin to lose the beauty of the details in there. So I'll try my best not to make it too noisy. Then let's look for the mid. For the mid, we go to our alpha, and then we would do the same thing here also. Radial fade will be 10. Mid value should be around 45. 45 is fine. Then I'll turn off symmetry for this and draw out something like so. We're going to be smoothing some parts of the details out anyways, and then sculpting my details in there. But for now, I think this would work. Let's bring back the other part of the model and let's see how that looks. If the details goes as far as what is visible to us, yeah, that would work just fine. But details feels a bit too noisy. I do not like how noisy this is. Looks good, but looks a bit noisy, so I think I'll need to do some manual work in there. So I'm going to smooth out those noisy regions of the detail. I'll smooth those out like in here now. Smooth those out. Then I'll kind of draw out or carve out mine. We'll try to, though looking at our original reference, the these details there will kind of work, but I do not want it to be too noisy, so that's why I'm doing some cleanup on this. Let me smooth this out. Smooth this out. Then I kind of use the guidelines there to recreate some of the details. So let me change this to our standard brush, our dem standard brush rather. Dem standard brush. Maybe I would need to take this off. Maybe bring in some of the lazy mouse features in there. And I reduce the step. So the step I don't want the steps to kind of create some, how do I explain this now? Like it leaves gaps in between the strokes. So I don't want that. So let me go to a lower subdivision level. 4 should be fine. Then now for this in here, I think there's a more detailed lips in here that I can use as my that I can use as my reference guide for this. So something like this will work just fine. So let me see. So if I drag something like this out, just drag some of this out. I'm just trying to create a depth. Look at it from another angle. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I would smooth this center part also. Let me go to higher subdivision level and smooth that out some more. So smooth this out. Then I would go to a lower subdivision level. Okay, subdivision level 4. Now kind of create, I'm just kind of creating volume, if like some kind of volume in there. So kind of following the guides I already have as a template to create more volume on the leaves by digging in to the mesh a bit. You can see I'm kind of following the guide as much as possible. Let me isolate this so I don't get distracted by the other objects around. So doing this on a lower subdivision level helps you create that volume, because if I should let me find a better angle on this. If I should, you don't want to go too crazy on this, so you don't have too much volumes that does not look appealing to the eyes. So if I should go to a lower subdivision level, I would use the same brush again to carve out. Now you don't want to be too, you don't want to create straight sharp lines. You want to kind of add some, let's say like C curve to it, not completely S curve, more like, well, almost like an S curve though, but not too much of an S curve. And mind you, I don't want to go too crazy on this. Going too crazy on this might just create too much noise on the model, or on that lips, or on, rather on the lips. So something like so. Still using those guides I already have in there to kind of create this. And for the lower parts of the lips, I'll use a smaller brush size. I'm trying to create these lines underneath the lips. Lower brush size, and I'll just draw out lines like so. Okay, so I'll go to the highest subdivision level that I have and go to a lower brush size. It's a much lower brush size and kind of carve all this in. And I believe this is fine. This should definitely work. This looks fine by me. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to create details for the upper lip. So if I should look this, let me change this to bling material that has some kind of reflection on it. Let me take this out. And look at this at an angle. Look at this at an angle, gives me a better idea of how the reflections are rolling off on those volume details we just added. So yeah, that's fine. I believe this is fine. This will definitely work. I think she has a sharp line in the center, so let me see if I can create that sharp line in the center with I need to isolate this again. Let me see if we can create that line in the center. I would use the dem standard. Let me use a higher brush size, kind of dig something in like so, and go a bit further inwards. Okay, yeah, that's fine, that will work. So let's invert our marks. So we'll select this, and then obviously we need to max out the lips, but let's go to a lower subdivision level so we can do a better job on the marks. If you do our marks on the higher subdivision level, it'll be more precise, but for me I feel it gets a bit harder to control when you're doing this in a higher subdivision level. I'm going to do this on lower subdivision level so I can capture more areas as much as possible. So the level 4, okay, let's go to a lower level. Level 3 should be fine. Turn on my symmetry and just roughly paint out something here. Look for another angle. Take down the brush size. Okay, now we should blur this on this region. Then we can go to a much higher subdivision level. Go to the highest subdivision level, then invert these marks. Then we can go back to standard brush. Go back to the lips alpha that we have in here. So I'm going to be using the upper lip. So the upper lip upper left. Then we'll change the alpha properties, go to modify. Okay, so already modify. Radial fade should be sorry, 10. Mid value should be around 45. That's fine. Then we can draw out. Okay, let me start from here. So the thinner, I think I need to get a closer view on this. I need a closer view on this. I need a closer view. Okay. So we would let's start from around here, then draw something out. I think yes, its inner part should be at the other side. I think we are too close. We are too close to the center, so I'm going to redraw this. Okay. getting I'm getting this weird. This stuff looks weird in here. I don't know if it's the shadowing or something. Let me. No, this will not work. Getting too much depth in here. I don't want this depth. Getting too much depth in there. I do not want that. I do not want that. That looks really hard. Like ah, that looks really odd. There feels like something pierced through that lips. I don't want that. So I'm going to undo that. Instead of using the higher lip left, let's use the higher lip right. Hoping that this new one we're using won't have that piercing depth in there. I don't want that piercing depth. It looks rather odd and unnatural. So I'm going to drag. Yeah, this should work just fine. Yes, it does not have that piercing depth in there. So let's drag this out like so. Then we would use the mid. I don't know, before we use the mid, let's go inward. Ah, perfect. Let's go inward and then drag something. Try to match this as closely as possible. Okay, that's fine. Then we can use the lip upper mid. Yeah, I think this lip upper, I found it free. I think it's actually free. It's actually free on Google. I think so. I can't remember where I found it, but if you do a search for lip alpha, I believe you should find this particular map also. Okay, then we would radial fade should be 10, obviously mid value should be 45. Okay, so let's give it this glance angle should be fine. Then we will draw out turn up symmetry, then we'll draw out something. Whoa, this looks too aggressive. Yes, it's definitely too aggressive. Undo that, take down the intensity down some more, and let's draw that too low. I think we used the 66 before, so let's use something like 60 this time. Yeah, I think this should work just fine, I guess. Let's see what we have here. It still feels rather odd. Feels rather odd. Maybe, just maybe, I can just reuse the lower lip mid, lower mid. Let's try this on. Yeah, this is better. I believe this is better. This should work just fine. I think the bottom part looks weird. So let me look for a better angular. This, then we draw that detail. Something like this should be fine, I believe. I think it needs to be a bit broader than this. Instead of using that same map, let me use this deep upper right. Okay, Okay, so let's go to a lower. This particular one is not too noisy, so let's go to a lower. Let's go to a lower subdivision level and kind of create more depth in there. So I'm going to turn all of this off. I think I can just, that's too intense. I think I can just use my standard brush to just add some more volume to this. Just add some more volume to this. Okay, let me go out. I believe we need to use our dem standard brush to create more volume underneath the lips. So I'm going to be following those guides as much as possible. The guys we already have from the alpha. Look at this at an angle. Try to capture the volume of the lips. Look at this at an angle. Try to see what we have done. Smooth this out. Okay. Notice I'm not working in symmetry mode because I want this to be as organic as possible. I don't want it to be too symmetrical. So if we should go to a higher subdivision level, I think we should have a better result on a higher subdivision level. Trying to avoid having something that is too noisy. I believe this should work just fine. Okay, so let's go to the higher subdivision level and let's see what we have done. Okay, looking at the upper lips, I can't seem to see. Need to have more volume underneath the lips. So let me undo. Trying to bring back the marks. Okay, so underneath this part I want to have more volume in here. Yes, like so. Like some more deeper volume in there. As you can see, kind of capturing that volume. So go to a higher subdivision level and see how that looks. Maybe I will accentuate that a bit more. That feels too deep. Still too deep. Still too deep. Let's look for a better angle on that. Still too deep. Okay. to be more light-handed on this. Okay, and I'll go a little bit more light-handed on top of those depths I've created. Just a little light-handed on those. Zoom out to see how that looks. Okay. Think I'm almost satisfied with what I have, almost. Then I'll just use the standard brush now to kind of do something across like so. Okay. Okay, I believe this should work. This should be better now. This should be a bit more better. Yes, much better. Maybe too better also. But I think this is fine. This will work just fine. This will work just fine. This will work just fine. I don't want the mouth to be too bumpy so it doesn't feel like she's sick or something. Like her mouth is too dry. If you have too much details in there, it makes her mouth look too dry, like she's kind of sick. So I don't want that. So let me go to a lower subdivision level 3, I guess. Then I'll just kind of smooth that back in. Just do a light smooth on that. Okay, and go to a higher subdivision level. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. I think we can work with this. So using our damp standard brush, I think this portion needs more details. Go to a higher subdivision level. Now just carve out too sharp. Lower subdivision level. Just do something like so. Let me get a closer view on that so I can show you guys what I'm actually doing. Okay. Okay. Just trying to I'm trying to create let me show see if I can find it in yes. And to create something like this. So I'm just kind of carve that in as much as I can. I'm supposed to even do this in symmetry mode. So let me turn on symmetry because these are details that you won't really see too much, but it helps to have them in there anyways. So it still helps to have them in there. Okay, so I believe we're done with that. Yes, this looks good. If we should, oh yes, I almost forgot another trick. Since we did this on a separate layer, so it's kind of help us to, you can always dial that back down if it feels too intense. If details feels too intense, we can always do something like so, and we can take this down. We can take this down. Let's say we go around to 0.5. Yeah, you see how that blends in perfectly. because we didn't go too aggressive on we actually went kind of almost aggressive on the details on level 1, but when we blend that in with level 5, we get a more smoother transition in. So but I'm going to take this up a notch, maybe around 0.7. As you can see, that's great. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. I believe the next lesson will be about, think about the point where we need to texture this model. So we're going to be doing some hand painting, or some hand painted textures. We're going to be doing some hand painted textures on our model. We still need to create the clothing for this model also. So our Euro shot for this is actually this reference image here, but let's look for the original reference image. You still have to post this anyways. You still need to post this and then create create this jean jacket for her and then detail it. To create the jean jacket would be like a bonus lecture whereby we're going to be going through marvelous designer and how to create good topology for clothing and all that sweetness. So I would see you guys in the next lesson. Bye for now.